everyone, good evening. Welcome to our Friday night cook along class. I'm hoping that I've given you enough notice to be able to join in and cook along live with me. If not, hopefully you will enjoy just watching and get some ideas for a nice dinner to make in the future. The idea of the cook along classes, for those of you who haven't been on before, my cook along classes are really simple. They're all focused for people who are really busy, don't have time to cook, or don't feel like they have time to cook and just need some simple recipes that are dead tasty. So everything's dead relaxed. We're not like pretending we're professional chefs or anything like that. It's literally, we're busy people, we don't always have time to cook, and we want to get some nice food on the table. So with that in mind, if you're cooking along with me, please make sure you've got your ingredients ready. Hopefully you've seen my story about 15 minutes ago just to say get your ingredients and equipment ready, get your kettle boiled and ready to go, pour yourself a drink and we will get started cooking. So tonight we're going to make a breaded chicken breast with a lovely garlic and parsley lemon pasta. It's almost like a Chicken Kiev in a pasta dish. So a little bit of a mix up for us, so let's get started. This should maybe take us about 30 minutes max. As I said, that's just probably because we're cooking along, but if you're making this yourself, you'll whittle this out in no time. So first of all, you should have some pasta, you should have a pot, and get your pasta into the pot and then just fill up with your boiled kettle water. Now I'm having issues with my tripod tonight, so typical when you're going to do a live, but hey ho, let's just see how we get on with this and we'll see what angles we can get. You'll also notice that the buffet puppy has decided to join me in the kitchen tonight. As usual, I'm sure many people are the same. There's usually children or puppies or partners or something floating about the kitchen with you when you're making dinner. So our pot of pasta, just get that onto the hob, just pop that on a high speed. And that's going to take about 10 to 12 minutes. So in the meantime, we are going to get our chicken ready. So you should have 2 chicken breasts. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either have 1 chicken breast per person, and we're going to butterfly that, or you can do completely slice it in half and do half per person. So in our house, we'll normally do, myself and the buffet husband will have 1 each, butterflied, and the kids will share 1. So let me just show you first of all how we're going to go ahead and prepare these. So hopefully you can all see that along with the buffet puppy in the background. Honestly, there's never a dull moment in this house. So we're going to start with the chicken breast. And all we're going to do to get these prepared, first of all, like I said, nice and simple, we're just going to start at the top, and about halfway through the chicken breast, we're going to start slicing, not all the way to the side because we want to just butterfly this, and as we're slicing, we'll just pull away, okay? So slicing through, pulling as we go, all the way down, until we have a nice butterfly chicken breast. Now, I know there's probably like professionals watching here going, that's not how you butterfly a chicken breast. I don't really care because we are busy people who need to get food on the table. So that again, for the people who are watching or who are going to cook along with us, we are just going to slice all the way from the top to bottom, about halfway down, and open it up to a nice beautiful butterfly chicken breast. Now because we're touching raw meat, for those of you who don't normally cook, time to wash your hands, wash your knife, make sure that we're not giving ourselves salmonella. Okay, so quickly do that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to get this on to cook. So if you get yourself a nice frying pan, hopefully one that can fit both chicken breasts in it. If not, then we'll just do them one at a time. And we're going to fill that about 1 centimetre with oil. So many ingredients here. So you're going 1 centimetre with oil, nice and full, and we're going to stick that back over on the hob, and we're just going to get that ready to heat in a little minute. So onto the hob with the oil, and we're going to prepare our chicken breasts. So I have my ingredients set aside and ready to go. If you haven't, then now is the time to get a large plate and pour some plain flour onto that. A second large plate, pour your breadcrumbs onto that, and then we're going to crack some eggs into a bowl, and we're going to start breading our chicken. So let's get all of these things together. Try and do this in enough space so that I can show you everything together without spilling my corona. Okay, so let's see, we've got this all together. And as I'm getting that organised, for those of you who haven't done any of my cook-along classes before, a little bit about those are, you can either join my regular cooking classes that are on a few times a month, have some coming up. This Sunday we're making brunch, next Friday we're making paella and sangria, and then those classes are repeated later in the month as well. So you can join those. You know, it's really good if you're feeling like you don't want to cook in the kitchen yourself, you don't want to make a big meal just for one person. If your family are fed up of you making the same things all the time, then you can join in with any of those classes, and it feels like a little night out or a little night in instead. Okay, so we have those coming up. You can see them if you click the link on my bio. You can get all the details of those, or you can drop me a message and I can give you the details. Okay, so hopefully that's given you enough time to get organised with your breading equipment. Now what we're going to do is we will start with our chicken. Now let me just put this down. Okay, so what I should say is you also want to make sure that you've got an empty plate, and we're going to use that to put the chicken on once we've breaded it. So before we start breading, we want to just get our eggs cracked, and we're just going to whisk them a little bit, and that gives something for our breadcrumbs to stick to. Okay, so just a little whisk there. As I said, nothing fancy. It's Friday night, we've got a beer cracked open, we don't want to be taking ourselves too serious here. So we're going to take our chicken breast and we're going to go straight into the flour with it. So cover that with flour. Yeah, that just dries out the chicken a little bit for us. Then we're going to go straight into the egg wash. Okay, straight into the egg wash, and that gives us something for our breadcrumbs to stick to. So just let that drip off. I was actually thinking to myself, this would also be really nice with fish. So chicken breast into your breadcrumbs. Now tonight Matthew, I'm using panko breadcrumbs. Usually I just use the little tub of golden breadcrumbs that you get, because I feel like they last really well. They're dead handy to pick up at the shops, or you can just, if you've got an old loaf of bread that you're trying to use up, you can just, when you're feeling inspired one day, blitz them up in the food processor and feel like you're really smashing life because you've got homemade breadcrumbs. Okay, so then we're taking the chicken breast and we're just setting that aside on a dry plate for now. And then we're just going to repeat with our second chicken breast. So again, into the flour, and we're just going to cover that up. Okay, dry that out, shake off any excess flour. We don't want too much on there. We're not trying to make something that is like a starchy, floury chicken. And then we'll just pop that again into the egg wash. Okay, so other thing to note here is if your kids are a bit like mine, or like the buffet daughter, she likes to just eat chicken goujons or chicken nuggets everywhere. At this point, you could have this either breaded and we could cook it and just serve her that, or you could cut it into smaller chunks and then cook them and serve it like chicken goujons. So this recipe can be adapted. Don't feel like this is the only thing you can do with it. As I was saying, I actually think this will be quite nice. I'm going to try it out as well with some white fish, because I think that would be a really nice touch with the linguine and the lemon and parsley. I think it would be really a nice pasta. So stay tuned and I will cook that one day and share it with you. Okay, so setting chicken breast onto the plate now. Okay, again, because we've been touching chicken, give your hands a little wash and get everything set aside. So all those plates that I've used no longer need, I'm just going to set them aside out the way and give the chopping board a little wash as well. You don't want to be mixing your raw meat with anything else that we're cooking, because then you're thinking you're doing a nice thing, cooking a nice dinner for people, but actually what you're doing is giving them salmonella. So let's try and avoid that if we can. Right, everybody, hope if you are cooking along, you have managed to get your pasta on, a little bit of salt in the water, and that's boiling away. It'll take like 12 minutes or so. If you're using fresh pasta, it will only take a couple of minutes. We have our chicken breast has been butterflied in our way. We have coated it with flour to dry it off, we've dunked it in some egg wash, and now we've covered it in breadcrumbs and it's ready to go in the pan. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to pop that pan with the oil. We're going to turn the heat on that. You're looking for that to heat up maybe in like 2 minutes or so. So just onto a medium to high heat, and we're going to use some of our breadcrumbs just to test when that oil is hot enough for us to cook the chicken in. So turn on your hob with your oil. Okay. I'm just putting that on a medium heat. And while that's heating, the other classes that I was going to tell you about is our cook-along classes that are built for corporates. So they are actually really popular for team building activities, or if you're having a birthday party with people that are far away. I just noticed I've actually got breadcrumbs in my hair. Nice, professional. Rest assured, when I'm doing your buffet, I don't actually cook with my hair down, long nails, all that sort of thing. This is purely for my own family, I do that. So yeah, the cook-along classes for corporates are amazing fun. It's a good way that if you can't get everybody to a night out, or people can't commit to time outside the work, you can use a cook-along class for your team building within work. So quite often we'll make a brunch at maybe like 9:30, 10 in the morning, and then I hand the Zoom over to your team, I drop off, and you go ahead and have your team meeting together. Everybody's in the comfort of their own home, so it's good when people are still working remote for the time being. Or we can do like Friday nights where it's like a kind of paella sangria and we have like a more party atmosphere or anything like that. And we can do all types of cook-alongs. We actually done a really good one for it was either a 60th or a 70th birthday party, but I'm going to go 60 so I don't offend anybody. We done an amazing party because the family couldn't travel together, so people all over the world, we done a Spanish theme and we all cooked together and it was amazing. So anything like that we can host like private cook-alongs for, and it's so much fun. It's dead relaxed, as you can see, nobody's stressing here, we are just chilling. Okay, so what we're going to do is with that oil, I want you to take a couple of breadcrumbs and drop it into the pan and see if they start to fry. If they start to fry, we're good to go in with the chicken. Okay, mine aren't hot enough yet, it's just got a little second. So we'll just wait for that to heat up. Hopefully everybody has had a nice working week, that we're done, we are chilling, we've got nice plans for the weekend. See quite a few of you are on, just let me know if you've got any nice plans for the weekend. I love to hear. I'm the person in work who likes to talk to everybody about what they're doing at the weekend, what they're eating at the weekend, what sort of things, and also, you know, there's always someone who wants to talk about what you're having for lunch, then that is also me. So I've got the buffet puppy can obviously smell that there's food going down. He's right at my feet here. So if you see me falling, it's because I've slipped over a puppy. Right, okay, so time to get this chicken into the pan. Now, I would say to you, I'm not going to do it here because you'll probably get some noise coming through. If you have a extractor fan, I'd pop that on now. We were doing this something similar as a cook-along class before, and I could see one of the participants running around in the background with the smoke alarm going off. She is on Instagram, so if you want to admit to that being you, then feel free. But all we're going to do is stick this chicken into the oil now, and you should hear that start to sizzle. Okay. Now just watch, because when we put that meat into there, it's going to start, the temperature will drop, the temperature of the oil will drop because we've added food to it. So if you hear that that has stopped sizzling, then you want to just crank up the heat ever so slightly. This is going to take about, I'll give it about 5 to 6 minutes on each side, assuming that we don't have smoke coming up behind us in the meantime, because I've done too much gabbing in the background. So, as we have that happening, so that's cooking along, 5 or 6 minutes each side, we're going to turn. We are going to make our pasta sauce. Now, pasta sauce, this is a push to call this a pasta sauce. It's so tasty. There's not really much to it, but let's get it made and you can judge yourself whether you like it. Now, what you'll need is, you'll need some butter, you'll need your lemons, garlic, parsley, salt and pepper. Okay, so grab those ingredients. We'll get mine here. Now, on the recipe, I have put 1 clove of garlic because I know that nobody will listen to me and just use 1 clove of garlic. Not even myself, I've got 2 here. What I would warn is, I have made this before and got really wide and put 4 cloves of garlic in it. It's too much. So somewhere between 1 and 3, depending on your taste buds, depending how much pasta you're making. But I'm going for 2. Mine are pretty small, so I'm going to go for 2. Okay, so you need, let me just grab the bowl, and I've lost my knife somewhere along the way. We've got that now. Okay, so what we need is these ingredients. And I love these ingredients because they look so nice and fresh whenever you're posting pictures of them. So if you're cooking this and you're going to post a picture for me, then this will look amazing. Keep a little bit of lemon, a little bit of parsley to put at the side. Most important ingredient, we've got my butter. So what we're going to do is, I find that if you use, I don't know how to explain this, but see if you use a butter that is like a yellowy colour, I feel like it works really nice in this dish. I don't know what the logic behind that is. I'm sure somebody can let me know what the actual theory behind that is, but I feel like if I use like Lurpak Light, it doesn't work so well, it doesn't taste as nice, it's a bit bland. So all we're going to do is we're going to put 2 tablespoons of butter. As I said, it's Friday night, right? You're probably not going to make this dish if you are on a diet and you're trying to be good. Look away now if you're counting calories, if you're counting sins. Look away now, this is not the dish for you tonight. But if you're having a wee treat night, then this is a dish for you. So here is the butter, 2 tablespoons of butter. We are going to go in with 2 cloves of garlic. So either you can use lazy garlic and just put in 1 teaspoon of it, or you can use, just crush up your cloves of garlic and pop them in. Actually, any type of garlic will do, right? So if you want to just slice it, if you don't have a garlic press, whatever, we're not fussy here. We're literally trying to make a nice, easy, simple dinner that tastes delicious. Okay, so garlic goes in, and then we're going to put the juice of 1.5 lemons. So try and avoid the seeds if you can. Just put a hand underneath to catch the seeds and squeeze the lemons in. If you've got a little lemon press, then you can use that. Last time I made this, I didn't actually have fresh lemons, so I just used, like, you know, the bottle of the little kind of green bottle that you get, Jeff Lemon, something like that. And that works lovely as well, although it's not so Instagrammable with your photos. So 1 more half of lemon, and this one I'm literally just keeping to slice up and put on top of the pasta and decorate and just be a little bit flashy with that. Because what we want to do is create really simple recipes, but make them look like we've made tons of effort. And then it's like, oh hey, I'm smashing that work-life balance. And really, all it is a few sneaky kitchen tips. And everyone goes, oh my god, how do you do it all? And you're like, because we're just keeping a wee bit of lemon to decorate the food. It's easy, right? Simple, sorted. And then, finally, we're going to go a big bunch of parsley. Let's see how we got on with this amount. If there's really woody stalks, I'm going to take them out, right? But I'm not going to stress too much about this because I don't have time to be worrying about picking parsley leaves. So we're just going to roll that into the tightest ball possible, and then we're just going to do that with the knife. Okay, watch your thumbs, watch your fingers, and all of the people watching that's like, that's not how you cut herbs. Again, we don't really care. This is how we like to cut herbs. Get them into the bowl. So let's see how this ends up in the bowl, and then we'll decide if we want more or not. Okay, so we'll push that in there, and then I'm just going to rinse my hands because I'm covered, and we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to use a fork to mash this together. Okay, so this doesn't need to be perfect. This is going to be getting added into your hot pasta. Okay, so it doesn't need to be perfect, it's going to melt down, but just give it a rough mix. Okay, once we've mixed it, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, again just to your taste, we can add more later. Just be careful if you've used salted butter, you've already got some salt in there. Okay, if you're cooking along with me, I would give your chicken a little check now, and it's probably time to turn that. Waffle off. And you see lovely golden chicken breast there. Now, I'm just conscious that the oil is still pretty hot over there, so I've just turned the heat down ever so slightly for the second half of this chicken. I just don't want to burn it, and I feel like they're getting pretty golden as they are. Okay, so you have your pasta sauce just about ready. You have your pasta cooking away, you have the chicken cooking away. We are going to pull out the pasta now. So if you're cooking with me, get yourself a colander and or a sieve and get yourself a mug. What we're going to do is we're going to place the colander or sieve over the mug, over the sink, and pour the pasta through that so that we end up with a cup of the nice starchy cooking water, and that's going to help us make our pasta sauce as well. Okay, so try and keep yourself a mug of starchy water. If not, reboil the kettle and we can just use boiled water anyway, so no biggie. Okay, so grab your pasta, and at this point, this should be lovely and freshly cooked. And if we just put you down, let's see, looking good. Okay, so hopefully at this point, oh, sorry, damage. Authentic content there with the steam coming up on the camera. Okay, so hopefully by this point you're looking at me going, like, that's pure easy, like, but you're going to teach me something. It really is this simple to get good food on the table, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to get my colander over here, place that over my mug, and I'm going to sit this in the sink and drain the pasta through it. And since I'm throwing things in the sink as we go along here, I'm not going to show you what damage has been done in there. What I will show you is that the pasta is going back in here. Okay, so pot, we're going to put the pasta back in. Lovely. We have got our mug of starchy water, and we're going to start adding this nice buttery mixture into pasta. Okay, make sure you're draining all that lemony goodness in as well. Okay, as I say, look away if you're calorie counting or you're trying to be healthy. This absolutely is a treat meal, and it's on a Friday. It's a wee treat. It comes with a bottle of Corona or a nice glass of white wine if you like white wine. A wee Prosecco would be nice for this as well, actually. So, mixing that. And what you'll see is the butter starts to glaze the pasta. Hopefully you can see that on the screen here. The butter starts to glaze the pasta, and it's lovely. And what we're going to do is, as this starts to dry up, we're going to use the starchy water, just a wee splash at a time. You don't want to go too much, to make this into a lovely silky pasta sauce. So you see there it starts to look really nice and creamy, and that's just because we're adding that water that's already got the pasta flavour in it. Okay, so our pasta sauce is pretty much done. I'm not going to throw away this water yet because I want to make sure that when I go to serve this, that I have some of this water reserved to keep going with the nice sauce. So I'm just going to set that aside for now, and we're just going to clean up the space. We're almost done. So if you are like me and you have a hungry family waiting, or you have people like 2-year-olds who won't go to bed until they're fed, then you can reassure them that we're pretty much done. Dinner will be served in a couple of minutes. Hopefully if you're cooking with me, you've managed to keep up. Just in summary, we have boiled our pasta. While that's boiling, we have breaded our chicken fillets and butterflied them. We've put them in to shallow fry. We've made a beautiful pasta sauce, and now we're just going to bring everything together and plate it all up. So here we go. Hopefully if you've been following the page, you notice that I've invested in some nice new plates. You would not believe how hard it is to find the perfect plates for taking photos of food on, unless that's part of your job. But honestly, too many reflections, not the right colour, plates that you think are small are actually giant. Honestly, a lot of effort goes in. Hats off to all these foodie bloggers who know what they're doing and have lots of nice set-up with plates. So, let's see, if I put you down to face the plates, okay, hopefully you've got a view of that. What we're going to do is I'm just going to check the pasta. Oh shit, oh there we go, typical. The Corona is going everywhere, so Corona in the pasta is optional. Right, so let's see if that still looks good to me. That doesn't look like it's dried out. If you're getting to this point and you feel like it looks a little bit dried out, this is when you add another splash of your starchy water, just to keep that as a nice pasta sauce. So I prefer if you use tongs at this point, but you know, any old way will do. But the reason I like to use tongs is because we can sit it on the plate and we can give it a little twist and it goes into a nice mound at the top. Again, into the plate, into a little twist. As many of these as you want, right? I don't really care. There we go, lovely pasta. And then we're going to get our chicken breast. And what I would do is, if I set this aside for a second, I'm going to put the chicken onto some kitchen roll, just to make sure that we're taking off as much oil as possible. What one looks the best? Let's take this one. If you're not sure of your timings, then at this point you can cut open the chicken fillet and just check and make sure that it's cooked all the way through, and you would just do that at the thickest part of the meat. And if you know if your thickest part is cooked, then the rest of it's good to go. Considering the amount of calories I've just popped into that pasta, I've got a cheek to dab off the oil here, but hey ho, this is where we get to. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place that on top. In fact, it doesn't even look like enough pasta because that chicken breast is so giant. I actually think this might have been the reason that last time we halved the chicken breast. So I'm just going to push the pasta out, and then we're going to set our chicken fillet on top. Looking good. I'll clean up the corona that I spilt along the way. Nicely done. We are going to get a slice of lemon. So all we're going to do here is, if I get the chopping board, bring back the chopping board. I'm just going to give this a nice little thin slice to go on top of that circle. Just take a little slice out of it and then sit it on with a nice twist and a little sprig of parsley. Let me get a nice bit. So it's always good to keep a little bit just for the topping, for no other reason than if you're making this, you are going to send me a picture on Instagram. I'm going to post it, I'm going to tag you, and I'm going to be really proud of you. I think I'll actually use another wee bit there. Finally, move that aside, we are going to go in with a little bit of Parmesan. So I was being super lazy, couldn't be bothered grating fresh Parmesan. I know Italians will probably be frowning upon me right now, but I don't really care at this point. And I bought pre-grated, and we're just going to sprinkle that as much or as little as you like, okay? Do it to your own taste buds. You could even, if you want to hammer lots of this on, I would suggest maybe do it before you put the chicken breast on. Entirely up to you, whatever way you want to do it. And then I'm just going to sprinkle with a little bit of black pepper over the top. Hopefully you'll like a good bit of black pepper. And if you like more salt, then this is the time to add that too. So, everybody, hopefully, I'm actually sweating, it's so hot in here. Hopefully you have been able to cook along with me. Hopefully you have something amazing to eat. Let me know, send me a little message and let me know if you cooked with me. Let me know if you watched along with me, whether you enjoyed it, whether you'd like to join another cook along. If this has inspired you, then I do have brunch planned on Sunday, and you can sign up for that just now, clicking the link in my bio. Or if you want to have another party next Friday, then it is the paella and sangria party. You can also sign up for that on the link in my bio. But the sangria, just so that you know, you can make it alcoholic or non-alcoholic. We just tweak it all to make sure that it's a meal that you and whoever you're eating it with will totally enjoy. Hopefully you have seen that everything is nice and relaxed in this kitchen, and that really quickly, if you look at that has been on less than 30 minutes, and that's me kind of talking us through what we're cooking. These recipes are really simple and sure to become staples in your household. So everybody, I hope you've enjoyed a little Friday night in my kitchen. Hopefully you've got a little drink poured and you are ready to put your feet up, get your kids to bed, get your puppies to bed. I'm surprised he survived that at my feet. Poor dog, he's had enough. This is the state that he's in. There we go. That's how much he's fed up of my chat. Poor waffle doggy. But everyone, have an amazing weekend, and I will speak to you all very soon. Thanks very much for watching, and take care.